hydrochloric acid. So what is the function of hydrochloric acid, Anubhav?
Ma'am, the hydrochloric acid is used in the stomach to kill the bacteria and to make the food into soup form.
Okay. They will be making the soup form. And what is the name of that soup?
Ma'am, it is known as chyme.
Okay, yes, good. So it is known as chyme. So then next thing, what is present in the gastric juice is a pepsin. This pepsin will be working on the protein, and then this protein they will be breaking down into the peptones and proteases. And the last thing, what is present in the stomach are the mucus. So mucus is what? It's a kind of layer. And because of the presence of this layer, what happened? They will not be digesting. So stomach will not be digesting their own wall. So that is the main function of the mucus. Going ahead with the next part is the small intestine, which is the small intestine. Small intestine is basically the largest part. So largest part of about, do you know how many centimeter meter it is?
Ma'am, I think up to 8 meter.
Okay, fine. So it's about like 6.57 or like 6 around and all. It is about 6.5 meter of the alimentary canal. So when we talk about the complete alimentary canal, this is the largest part of the alimentary canal. The second thing is very important thing. It is the place. So small intestine is the place where the complete digestion take place. So if we talk about the complete digestion, this in the small intestine, the complete digestion take place. So complete digestion of food, it occurs where? In the small intestine. So it is the place where complete digestion of food takes place. And what kind of food they will be digesting? What kind of food or nutrients they will be digesting?
Ma'am, proteins and
Very good.
carbohydrates.
Very good. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So these are the food item what they will be digesting where? In the small intestine. Now this small intestine, they get the secretion. So what they will be doing? They will be they receives the secretion from, so what do? They receive the secretion from two glands. So basically they have two glands. The first gland is known as what? The liver, and the second one is known as the pancreas. So out of these two, liver and pancreas, which is the largest gland, Anubhav? Yes, Anubhav, out of these two, which is the largest gland?
Small intestine.
Out of liver and pancreas, which is the large intestine? Which is the largest gland?
Ma'am, I think the liver.
Yes. So liver is the largest gland of our body. So in our body, the largest gland is what? It is the liver. Now this liver, they produce a juice. Do you know the name of the juice? What the liver produce?
Ma'am, is it the bile?
Very good. So it is the largest gland and it produces the juice called as the
Bile.
bile, B-I-L-E, bile juice. This bile juice is basically greenish yellow liquid. And this bile juice will get stored at which place? Where they will be storing this bile juice?
Ma'am, gallbladder.
Very good. So bile juice gets stored in gallbladder. So in the gallbladder, they will be storing this bile juice. Now, this bile juice, they perform two main functions. So there are two major functions of the bile juice. Do you have any idea what are the functions of the bile juice?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll tell you. So first function is to make the medium alkaline. So in the stomach, what happened? They converted everything into the acidic medium. And now here in the liver, with the help of this bile juice, what do? They make the medium alkaline. Fine. So they make the medium alkaline here in the liver. And second thing, what they will be doing, they will be helping in emulsification of fat. So we are eating the fat. So that bigger molecule of fats will be broken down into the smaller molecules of fat with the help of this bile juice, and this process is called as emulsification. So when, like for example, if I have the bigger molecules of fat in my body, these all bigger molecules will be converted into small very small fat molecules. So why they have to convert it? Because our body cannot digest the big molecules, they need the small molecules only for digestion. So that is the reason bile juice will be helping them to break down easily. So only the bigger molecule of fat will be broken down by the bile juice into the smaller molecules. So these are the major two functions. The first function is to make the medium alkaline, and second function is to emulsification of fat, which means to break down the bigger molecules of the fat into the smaller globules. Clear, Anubhav?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the next one we have is the pancreas. So small intestine, they will be receiving the secretion from two glands. One is from the liver and the second one is the pancreas. Now this pancreas, they will be producing the pancreatic juice. So they produce a juice which is called as pancreatic juice. And this pancreatic juice, they contain the enzymes. And enzymes are what? They are the kind of molecules which makes the reaction fast. So if we have these enzymes in our body, the reaction will occur at a fast speed. But if we do not have the enzyme in our body, then reaction either it will not occur, or if it occurs, then it will be occurring at very slow level. So this pancreas, they will be producing the pancreatic juice, and this pancreatic juice contain what? They contain the enzyme. Now, there are basically three enzymes in it. So they are what? How many? They are the three enzymes in it. The first one is the pancreatic amylase. The first one is what? The pancreatic amylase. The name of first enzyme is pancreatic amylase. The second enzyme, what they produce is the trypsin. So three enzymes will be produced: pancreatic amylase, trypsin, and the last one is the lipase. So have you ever heard this word, Anubhav?
Ma'am, I have heard the two enzymes, but I have not heard the lipase.
Okay, but basically there are three enzymes in the pancreatic juice. All right. So I'll tell you what are the functions of it. First, we will start with the pancreatic amylase. So this pancreatic amylase, what do? The major function of them is they break down the starch. So which component they will be working? They will be working on the starch. So whatever the starch is there in our body, they will break them. And after breaking, what do they form? They form two sugars which are known as maltose and isomaltose. So this pancreatic amylase, what do? They break down the starch, and after breaking down the starch, what do they form? They form a sugar known as the maltose and isomaltose. So that is the
Ma'am,
main function. Yeah.
is this enzyme like the saliva in our mouth?
Exactly. Exactly. That is known as salivary amylase, or it is also called as stealin. So same
Okay.
function is being done by the pancreatic amylase. But there is a slight difference between both. In the case of the saliva, what do? After breaking down, they will be forming only maltose, right? Salivary amylase forms only the maltose. But
Yes,
in
ma'am.
this case of the pancreatic amylase, they break down the into the maltose as well as isomaltose. Now, what they are like, for example, if maltose are like this structure, then isomaltose are little smaller than maltose. So that is a difference in the size, difference in the molecules of it. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yashwant, anything, any doubt you have, Yashwant?
Ma'am, I joined late. Can you repeat it?
Okay, and both of you turn on your video also. So we have started today's class with a small intestine. So when we talk about small intestine, it is the largest part of about 6.5 meter of the alimentary canal. And the small intestine is a place where the complete digestion of the food will be done. So what kind of food will be worked on? Like carbohydrate, protein, and fats. On these kind of foods they will be working on. These small intestine, they will be getting the things from two glands. The first one is the liver and second one are the pancreas. Liver is called as the largest gland and it contain a juice, green yellow color juice called as the bile juice. This bile juice, what they will be doing, they will be getting stored in the gallbladder. So liver will be making this bile juice and this bile juice will keep on going and getting stored where? In the gallbladder. And the two main function of the bile juice is to make the medium alkaline and they will be helping to break down the bigger molecule of fat into the smaller molecules of fat. So that is how the liver will work. They will be breaking down the bigger molecule of fat into the smaller molecules of fat. Now in the next one, we have the pancreas. This pancreas, they will be producing a juice called as a pancreatic juice which contain the enzyme. And enzymes are what? They are the kind of molecules which make the reaction fast. So whatever we eat, they will be breaking down fast because of this enzyme. If these enzymes are not present in our body, then in that case, what happens? They will not break down easily. That is why the enzymes are important. So three enzymes are present in this pancreatic juice. The first one, pancreatic amylase. Second one, trypsin. And third one, lipase. So pancreatic amylase, trypsin and lipase are the three enzymes. So we have started with pancreatic amylase. These pancreatic amylase, they works on the starch. So whatever the carbohydrate we take into our body, that will be broken down with the help of the pancreatic amylase. And after breaking down, what do they form? They form the sugar called as the maltose and isomaltose. So they form two types of sugar called as maltose and isomaltose. Then second type of enzyme is called as the trypsin. So second type of enzyme, what they form is the trypsin. Trypsin, they will be helping in the digestion of protein. So whatever the protein molecules are there in our body, that will break down into the smaller components called as the peptones and peptides. So pancreatic amylase, they were breaking down the carbohydrate or starch. Now the trypsin, they are breaking down the proteins. And the last enzyme called as lipase, what do they break down now? What is remaining?
Ma'am, carbohydrate.
No, carbohydrate is starch. So starch has been broken down. Protein has
The
been broken.
fats.
Fats, right? So this fats will be broken down. So breakdown of fats will be done with the help of what? With the help of the lipase. And what do they form? They form the fatty acids and glycerol. So two things they form because of the breaking down of fat, which are the fatty acids and glycerol. So that is how, and that is the reason that we say that complete digestion take place in the small intestine, because whether it is carbohydrate, whether it is protein, or whether it is fat, each and every these three things are broken down into the small intestine only. So pancreatic amylase, they will break down the starch into the sugar called as maltose and isomaltose. The trypsin will be breaking down the proteins into the peptones and peptides. And the last one, lipase, they will be breaking down the fats into the fatty acid and glycerol. So like this, all the three components will break down into the something or the other thing. So these are the three enzymes present in the pancreas. Now, talking about the small intestine has three different regions. So do you know the three regions present in the small intestine? What they are? Any
Ma'am,
idea, Yashwant?
ma'am,
Hmm?
duodenum,
No
jejunum,
idea.
Okay, correct, Anubhav. Duodenum.
ma'am, jejunum and ileum.
Duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. So these are the three major region of the small intestine: duodenum, jejunum, and the ileum. So duodenum is the what? It is the first curved C-shaped part. So this is the first part of the small intestine which is curved and which is in C-shaped structure. Whereas this jejunum, it is comparatively longer. So when we compare the duodenum, jejunum and the ileum, it is slightly longer and more coiled. It has the coiled in it. And whereas in the last part, ileum, it is the last part and it has the finger-like projection. What is the name of the finger-like structure present in the small intestine?
Ma'am, villi.
Very good. So they are known as the villi. So these villi are present where? In the ileum part of it. Now talking about the villi are what? They are the finger-like projections. Finger-like projections, or we can say finger-like outgrowth also. So they are the finger-like outgrowth. Main function of this villi, what they are, they will be helping to increase the surface area. So whatever the food we eat, whatever the food we digest in our body, now it has to be absorbed. So for that absorption, the villi, what they will be doing, they will be increasing the surface area for the absorption of food. So whatever food we eat, whatever food we digest, it has to be absorbed. It needs large space and that area will be given by the villi. So like this, the villis are present in the small intestine. So these are the villi. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yashwant,
Yes, ma'am.
clear? Yes, Yashwant, any doubt, anything you want to ask?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Yeah.
So now the last part we are on, which is the large intestine. This large intestine, it is much shorter and wider than small intestine. Though the name is large, but actually it is short in size. So it is much shorter and wider. So why it is large? Why it is called as large intestine? Because it is little wider than the small intestine. And it also has three major region called as the cecum, colon, and the rectum. Three major region in the large intestine are cecum, colon, and the rectum. This cecum is what? It is the small round sac from which vermiform appendix arise. Have you ever heard this word appendix?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
It is the useless organ of our body.
Very good. So it is an useless organ of our body, which is basically arises where in the large intestine. So what happens in the body? Large intestine basically. Just 1 minute. Why it is not right now? So, what happened in the large intestine? Sometimes the cecum part starts growing a little more, and when this part starts growing, they form the structure called as the appendix. And this appendix is like extra muscle, which is not important for us. And when it keeps on growing, it starts paining to us. And that is why what this patient, though those patients who have this appendix, what they have to do surgically, they have to remove this the extra part of our body, and that is the surgical treatment they need to go ahead with. So this vermiform appendix is what it is, the extra organ, extra part in our body, and usually it causes a lot of pain. The next part is the colon, which is the inverted U-shaped tube. So it is what? Inverted U-shaped tube. And the last one is the rectum. You might have heard this word rectum. This rectum is basically to store the undigested food. So whatever the food is not being digested by the body, that will get stored where? In the rectum. And that will go out through the part called as the anus. So that is how the nutrition in humans takes place. So starting from the mouth till the anus, so these are the parts and the functions of it. So we have started with the small intestine, 6.5 meter long. It is complete digestion takes place here, where the carbohydrate, protein, and fats will be broken down. Then they will be receiving the secretion from two glands, liver, pancreas. Then liver is the largest gland. They produce a green-yellow color fluid called as the juice, bile juice. This bile juice, they will be getting stored in the gallbladder. The major two function of the bile juice is for the emulsification of fat and to make the medium alkaline. Then pancreas, they will be producing a juice called as a pancreatic juice, and they contain three enzymes in it: pancreatic amylase, trypsin, and lipase. Pancreatic amylase, they will work on the starch, and they will break down the starch into maltose and isomaltose. Trypsin will work on the protein, and they will break down the protein into the peptones and peptides. And last, lipase will work on the fats, and they will break down the fats into the fatty acids and glycerol. Then this small intestine has a three region: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Duodenum is the first part and the C-shaped part. Jejunum is comparatively longer and it is more coiled, whereas ileum is the last finger. It is the last part and it has finger-like structure called as the villi. These villi, what they will be doing, they will be helping to increase the surface area so that more absorption of food can be done. Then going to the next part is the large intestine. It is much smaller and wider than the small intestine. It also has three regions: cecum, colon, and the rectum. Cecum is a small round sac from which the vermiform appendix will arise. Colon is an inverted U-shaped tube, and rectum, they will be storing the undigested food, and through the anus, they will be removing it out of the body. So that's about the human digestive system. All right, children.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'll play a video related to this.
Hello friends, how are all of you? In the last video, we saw with Sonu and Meena about the digestive system in human beings. We had learnt about the journey of food from the mouth to the stomach. With the help of this video, let us learn about the journey of food from the stomach to the other parts in the digestive system.
Didi, it is evening now. You had said that you will tell me about the journey of food from the stomach.
Yes, Sonu. Let me bring the drawing. I was drawing to help you learn. Okay, you first tell me, what do you remember?
The process of taking food inside is known as ingestion. The food we eat passes through the esophagus and reaches our stomach. The lining of the stomach secretes digestive juices, hydrochloric acid, and mucus to break down complex food particles into simpler food particles.
Very good, Sonu. You remember everything. Bring the drawing that I was drawing to help you learn. The food reaches the small intestine from the stomach. The small intestine is about 7.5 meter and it is a coiled tube-like structure. It receives juices like bile from the liver and pancreatic juice from the pancreas.
So this is how the liver and the pancreas they look.
.5 meter, such a long intestine. Didi, my stomach is so small. How does such a long tube fit inside it?
Friends, did you know the length of the small intestine is 7.5 meter?
Yes, that is true. It can coil like a rope and hence it fits in easily. Do you know, Sonu? The liver is the largest gland in our body. It secretes bile juice. Bile plays an important role in digestion of fats.
Is the liver close to the small intestine?
It is situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. Look here. And pancreas is of a slight yellow color. It secretes pancreatic juice which helps in the digestion of carbohydrates and proteins.
And where is the pancreas?
The pancreas is situated right below the stomach. Look here. Now the partly digested food reaches the lower part of the small intestine. Here the digestive juices complete the digestion of the components of food. Look, I have written down in this list about the breakdown of different components of food into their simpler forms.
So that is how the complete breakdown of food will be done. Carbohydrate at last will be converted into the glucose. The fats will be at last converted into the fatty acid and cholesterol. And the proteins will last change into the amino acids.
We can see that carbohydrates break down to form glucose, fats to fatty acids, and proteins to amino acids.
The digestion is not less than any work in a factory. There is so much that the food we eat goes through. I used to think that we eat food, it reaches our stomach, and the process of digestion is over.
Did you all also think like Sonu?
Sonu, there are still two paths where the food will travel to complete the digestion process. Do you know, Sonu, the food is digested and absorbed in the small intestine.
Absorption? How does that happen?
The digested food passes through the blood vessels in the small intestine. This process is known as absorption. There are a lot of blood vessels in the small intestine. There are thousands of fingers-like projections in the inner walls of the small intestine. Look at this picture in my science book. These are called villi.
Why are these villi-like fingers?
It is written in my book that these finger-like projections increase the surface area of the food to be digested. The absorbed substances are transported via the blood vessels to the different organs of the body.
Okay, so now that the food is absorbed, we get energy from it.
In the cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released.
Okay, so now digestion and absorption have taken place. So is the digestion now over?
No, Sonu, the food that is left undigested and unabsorbed enters the large intestine. The large intestine is wider and shorter as compared to the small intestine. The length of the large intestine is 1.5 meter.
What? 1.5 meter? And the length of the small intestine is 7.5 meter. Then why it is called the large intestine?
Because the diameter of the large intestine is 2 times bigger than that of the small intestine.
Oh, now I understand.
Now, the undigested food enters the large intestine. The large intestine absorbs water from the undigested food. The remaining waste passes into the rectum. The fecal matter is removed from the anus from time to time. This is known as excretion.
It is such a long process. I'm really amazed, Didi. Now, whenever I eat something, I will remember how food passes through different parts and gives us energy.
Yes, Sonu, you are right. And while explaining it to you, I have revised the chapter for tomorrow's test.
So that's about this part. Children, just go to the resource. Go to the resource. Anubhav, turn on your video.
Ma'am, it is showing network problem. You can't turn on.
Okay, go to the resources. There, can you find one link?
Yes, ma'am.
With the name Nutrition Animal MCQ 1910-2023, right? Click on that. Clicked.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, whatever it is saying, just follow the steps and open the MCQs. So they will be asking for some OTP, number, registration, all those things. So do that once and then you'll be able to find the 40 MCQs. Those you need to solve, and immediately when you solve them and submit it, you will be getting your marks and you will see the correct answers also. And let me know once like you have login, because here I will be able to check what you are doing.
Mama, I don't know my OTP.
OTP, whatever number you have registered, on that number the OTP will come. Whose number you have given?
My father's.
So on father's number, the OTP might have reached.
Ma'am, there's a timer also.
So you can just, if you have another phone, just change the number then, so that OTP can come to you.
Okay, ma'am.
So as soon as you register, as soon as you open the link, I will be able to see your status here. So do the process and let me know.
Please wait.
Yes, Yashwant, I can see you that you have started doing it. You have joined it. I can see it. So are you able to see? I think now 40 questions are there.
Wait, ma'am, let me check. Ma'am, so I see digestion in humans.
Yes.
That I have to click, right?
Yeah. So whatever the answers are correct according to you, you need to enter that and you need to start doing it. Okay, all right.
Okay, ma'am.
And once you submit it, you will be finding your result, that how many answers are correct, how many were wrong, and how many marks you have got out of 40. So
Ma'am,
everything you will be able to see.
Ma'am, I think I get most of them wrong because I was sick for the past few days. I couldn't check the recordings.
Okay, never mind. You can just give a try. So whatever it is there in your brain, you can just give a try. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
Anubhav, have you done it?
Ma'am, the OTP is now reached.
Okay, okay. Enter the OTP. Yes, Anubhav, I can see you now. You have joined it.
Ma'am, which one I should need to do? 2.2 digestion in humans.
Yes, yes, yes. 2.2 direction in humans, you need to do it. Yes, Anubhav, now you have started doing the homework. I can see you.